Selling is really hard. Selling can be a skill that you can learn. So when I was starting off entrepreneurship, I was privileged enough to attend a boot camp for entrepreneurs. This was late 2015. And part of the program, how they had set it up, of course, various entrepreneurs were coming to speak to some of us who were just starting off. And I remember one key speaker who came in and brought in a book, The Hard Things About the Hard Things, a book written by Ben Horowitz. And it talks about the process of building a business and what it takes to build a business. I think from that forum, I went back, bought that book. And if you read that book, and I encourage everyone to go look for that book, I'll share the link for the book on the link, because that teaches you really what it's the essence of building a business. And more so now back to the aspect of selling. Selling is all about a mindset. It's about you going out there, pitching your product to the customer and convincing them why they need to buy the product from yourself. In previous episodes, I've mentioned that at the end of the day, you might not be the only person who having a similar product. At the end of the day, the customer is not only buying the product, we're looking at trust. Can we trust this entrepreneur to deliver this product and this service to us? And more importantly, remember you are the guide in this customer journey. The customer will always be the hero, just like in any story or any movie that you ever watch. You as the entrepreneur, you are the guide. You guide the customer with your product for them to be able to achieve their destiny or whatever goals that they have as an organization. Back to the aspect of mindset. Selling is all about confidence. That does not mean you go BS people out there in terms of what you have. It means being able to tell people what you are able to offer and being true to it, that you'll actually be able to deliver that value that you're communicating to them. But also, you also don't need to be have a perfect product. I think sometimes as an early entrepreneur, we spend too much time, especially in the tech space, trying to build a perfect product, expecting that the customer is also looking for a perfect product. Remember, we're the guide. And think of it of any guide, even in a typical story. The guide will never have all answers. They just provide the direction to where the destination will be. So always remember, as the entrepreneur, you're the guide. Perfect products are not fit for this world. Doesn't mean that you also do a shoddy job, but a simple MVP can build your business as you continue building the solution based on the feedback that you're receiving from your customers. Another big challenge I see a number of entrepreneurs facing is rejection. Oh boy, you'll be rejected 1,000,001 times. And you have to build that tough skin for rejection. One, accept rejection is actually part of feedback. I always say that when a customer rejects us, we always ask, okay, why did you reject us? Was it maybe we didn't meet your expectations? Was it also an issue of pricing? And when it's also an issue of pricing, I don't mind when the customer actually rejects me because of pricing. Why? And the reason I say this is, if you reject me because of my pricing, it either means that you know that I had something that would have been of value to your business, but at this point in time, you didn't have the budget to procure that product. With that said and done, that means that I could have an opportunity in the future when your budget aligns with my pricing for you to take up my product. So rejection is not a failure. Rejection is basically feedback. Back to our selling business, knowing your customer. And at the end of the day, when you're selling to the customer, you're trying to address a pain that they have. And don't go selling features, especially us in tech, we love selling features. Nobody cares about features. Remember, you're the guide. You need to address what pain are we addressing to this customer. Because remember, at the end of the day, the customer is engaging you for three key things. One, we are looking for a way to have operational efficiency. So maybe you sell a product that makes their operations more efficient, good enough. Maybe they also want to achieve a strategic position in the market, or maybe they want to just have a competitive edge in the market. Or thirdly, they could be just offering a product that reduces their risk. So my case have been in cybersecurity for the longest period. Most of the time, we are helping customers reduce their risk. So when I'm going to the customer, I may not need to sell to them a specific product or a specific service. For me, I'm advising them that when we come on board to your business, we'll reduce your risk, we'll mitigate your risk, and these are the steps that we'll take to mitigate that risk, which is a challenge that we are addressing. And at the end of the day, focus more on the outcome. The customer is looking at, when we bring you as the entrepreneur on board, what's the outcome of this engagement? What do I get out of this? The aspects of products, fair enough, but what do I achieve out of this? And the other thing is, there's also the aspect of return on investment. People want to see what's the return on investment, the ROI, once they engage into your service, into your product, which is very key. The customer needs to see the value vis-a-vis what you are offering. And your value can actually be well demonstrated even before we go to the pricing conversation. And the pricing conversation now, since we are at it, also comes a bit interesting. I see a number of people being very shy about pricing. I've never shied away from pricing because of two things. One, focus on value. When the customer appreciates your value, price is never a conversation. And as I said earlier, if a customer also rejects you because of pricing, it doesn't mean that your product or your service was of poor quality. It's just that at that point in time, they didn't have the budget sufficient enough to buy your product. But also more importantly, remember, as much as we are selling to a business, it's a human being who's sitting in that organization, the end user who buys from you. So at the end of the day, it's people buying from people. So relationships are always very critical. Always engage customers, give feedback to the customer, be available to the customer, because that's how you build up trust with customers. And I've been doing business with some customers for the longest time period. We may not actually be the cheapest in the market, but the customer knows that they can trust us, that they can call us at 3 a.m. and we will be available for them. Or by the way, I'll also be having another episode about the 3 a.m. call, which will be very interesting. But back to selling. So customers will buy from you because they trust you. Very, very important. You are first customers. Those, you should celebrate them. Those are your ambassadors. And one key thing I picked, especially when you're starting off, remember, you don't have a brand. You are coming into the market. You are trying to build a name and a reputation in the market. Those first key customers, those ones can make it or break your entrepreneurship journey. So treat them with like loyalties. Treat them like kings and queens, because those ones will determine the future of your business. And I've also had questions from young entrepreneurs, probably especially in the tech space. So I have this product that I've developed, trying to engage customers, but I'm not seeing traction. Be very creative in how you bring on board customers. So a classic example, you have a product, a tech solution, you want to bring in customers, typically of tech solution and also in the SaaS, software as a service, we usually issue licenses for a period of maybe 12 months. So why not engage the customer? Tell them that I'll give you the solution for the first 6 months for free. You'll pay the next 12 months. In short, they have bought a license for 12 months, but they enjoy it for 18 months. That's how you start winning these customers. And finally, your referrals. Always, always, always seek referrals from customers. Because how will people ever get to know about how good you are if somebody else does not talk about it? You talking about it is more of bragging. But when the customer talks about how good you are good at delivering the service or the product you offer, that already gives confidence to the next business that it's not just your word, it's somebody else who has experienced this service, this product, who's actually vouching for what you offer into the market. So for everyone having challenges with selling, I would say it's just a skill that you learn. Nobody is born knowing how to sell. It's a skill you learn. And the more you practice, remember the 10,000 rule, you become better at it. And the more you also engage, you also get to pick and learn from the customers that you're engaging. And selling is not just you talking. There's the other bit of you listening, which I think most entrepreneurs miss out. There's actually 70% should be you listening, 30% is you offering guidance to the customer. Once you've understood the challenge or what they want to achieve, then you come in and advise them based on what you have as your product, how you're able to address that pain and that challenge. So guys, keep clocking those hours. Looking forward to see you in the next episode.